Thank you. Thank you all for joining yet another video on Dr. R.S. and you on science of cosmetics and personal care products. Today, what we are going to discuss about is skin pigmentation. Okay, skin pigmentation. What we will discuss is what contributes to skin pigmentation and how that happens. Now here it's only the biological aspect and chemistry aspect of it we will see. More on the pigmentation control products and blemish control products we will see later when we come to the formulation aspect of it. Today we will cover on the biological and chemistry part of it, right? Very briefly. I am covering most of the things very relevant to cosmetics and personal care products. I am not getting deep into this because that will be for this video is designed for the common public also. Students can take this as a base and refer for further developing the science. But for common public also, they will have an opportunity to know about it. When I go very scientific, they might be out of contact. So I'm giving an optimum dose so that all people will understand. Okay. If it goes very scientific in this particular thing, kindly let me know. But take what you understand, right? It's I'm combining little chemistry also in this, so you take what you understand, right? So today what we are going to see, before that, again every slide I am telling, see part 1 introduction, before going to this. I have explained what is the program about and what we intend to do in this videos, and also I have introduced myself in the introduction program. It will be good for you if you go in a sequential way 2, 3, 4, 5, so that it will be easy for you to understand the very easily, right? So now today we will be discussing skin pigmentation part 7 of our video. Now this is this cross section of the skin. Okay, you have already seen the cross section of the skin, right? In the cross section of the skin, at the junction, at the dermal junction, so this is called the basal layer. In the basal layer, on that day we saw there is a cell called melanocytes. Okay, cell called melanocytes. Okay, melanocytes are responsible for the skin color. How? Melanocytes are the one which synthesize melanosomes inside melanosomes pigment melanin is present. Okay. So melanosomes which contains melanin, right? Basically the melanocytes produce melanosomes with melanin, and only melanosomes are transferred from melanocytes to the other layers of the skin, keratinocytes, right? Keratin layer. So what happens, right? I will cover a part of it so that it will not confuse you. See, this is the picture you can see, right? So this picture you can see where this is the, what is this? This is melanocyte. What is it? This is melanocyte, right? This is melanocytes, okay? Melanocytes produce melanosomes. These are all melanosomes. As soon as melanosomes are produced, melanocytes put dendrite like like amoeba, dendrite like protrusions, and transfer these melanocytes to keratinocyte cells of the skin, right? We saw the structure of the skin, keratinocytes, and the keratinocytes, we said that skin is dynamic, it moves up and the cells come out, no? So what happens, sometimes the major trigger for the synthesis of melanin and the melanosome transfer to keratinocyte, what the major, sunlight is the major trigger for the synthesis and transfer, right? So whenever you expose yourself to sunlight, the skin tans, no? The tanning response, one of the major cause for the tanning response is this one, this trigger, okay? So when you expose your skin to sunlight, the melanocyte cells produce melanosomes that contains melanocyte, okay? The melanosomes are transferred from melanocyte to keratinocyte cells. These are all the keratinocytes. When we saw the structure of the skin, see here, these are all the keratinocytes. Again, they will differentiate later and they become stratum corneum. That's what we studied in the previous chapters, no, right? Previous sections. So now, this is the trigger, right? So now you understand now. Now this is what happens, right? Melanocyte, right? Human beings have approximately the same number of melanocytes regardless of skin color. What melanocytes? Melanocytes produce melanosomes. But melanocytes are not present in the palms and in the soles, right? Palms and the soles, right? There are no melanocytes in the palm and the solar epidermis of black, white or oriental people. No, of all, nobody has the melanocytes in the palm and the sole. Melanosomes produced in melanocyte contains granules melanin and melanosome transferred to keratinocyte, right? This is another picture depiction, right? This is another depiction where this is the melanocyte. It is a pigment producing cells that produce melanosomes, and through this dendrite these melanosomes are transferred to keratinocyte cells, right? That is how, and it comes out. So sometimes, no, you expose to sunlight today, right? On 10th or 8th or 10th day, you get certain tan when you expose to skin to sunlight. 8th or 10th day, you feel the skin is much more darker, right? And slowly after 15th, 20th day, the skin will turn to the original complexion. What happens when you expose yourself to immediately to, so you go to Singapore, Malaysia, or some beaches somewhere in the, and then spend lot of time in the sun, right? Then what happens? No, the skin get tanned, right? Because of this factor, the melanocytes produce melanosomes, and the melanosomes are transferred to keratinocytes. Okay, now you see certain tan and you come home, and after 8-10 days you see the skin is much more darker, and after some time it comes to normal. What happens? The melanocytes that are dispersed in the lower layers of the cell, I told you the skin cell formation is dynamic. Slowly when it forms, it migrates to the upper layer and then come to the stratum corneum and then come out, right? Come out of the thing, and new cells are formed, right? When from the lower layers, when it comes to the upper layer, you see that the skin is much more darker, and then when it goes out, then you see that you are getting the almost the original complexion, right? So this is what this is what happens. So melanocyte, everybody has same number of melanocytes, right? Then why some people are dark, some people are fair, we will see that, right? So you understand now, no? Melanocytes are present in the epidermal junction, we saw that, right? Melanocytes are present in the epidermal junction, that is in the basal layer. This is called the basal layer. This is the junction between epidermis and dermis. This is dermis, this is epidermis. In the junction, these cells are present, melanin cells, melanocytes. The melanocytes are the cell that produces melanin. That melanin is present in melanosomes. The melanosomes, melanin is not transferred, that melanosome is transferred from melanocyte to keratinocytes, right? The major trigger is sunlight, right? Major trigger is sunlight. There are other factors, but the major trigger is sunlight for this transfer, right? So some little chemistry. See, what is the root of synthesis of melanin? Okay, you can leave this as of now. So you can see this, okay. This is very, very important because melanin is synthesized from an amino acid called phenylalanine, okay. Phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine, okay. Tyrosinase, you remember the enzyme, these are all two enzymes. The enzymes tyrosinase used in 2 steps, okay. Tyrosine with the enzyme tyrosinase converted into DOPA. Here we have shown from DOPA, okay. Dihydroxyphenylalanine is DOPA, right? And from DOPA you get dopaquine, okay. Dopaquine with dopaquine, it cyclizes, polymerizes to eumelanin, and dopaquine combines with cysteine and forms pheomelanin. So there are 2 types of melanin in melanosomes. There are 2 types of melanin in melanosomes. What are the type of melanin? Eumelanin and pheomelanin, okay. Mostly white skin, people with white skin contain more of pheomelanin, and with dark skin contains more of eumelanin, right? Contains more of eumelanin. So how is the tyrosine is synthesized from melanin is synthesized from phenylalanine, then tyrosine, and remember the enzyme tyrosinase. Remember, because we will come later to this. Tyrosinase, it is converted into dopaquinone, and then it cyclizes, polymerizes to form eumelanin and pheomelanin that is enclosed in melanosomes, right? Pheomelanin is in white skin and eumelanin is in dark skin, right? Now, in white skin, melanosome are less mature, smaller, round, and are usually bound in groups, right? In black skin, melanosomes are mature, right? Single, ovoid, and membrane bound, okay? This is the thing. So now, what happens? I'll tell you. Pheomelanin and eumelanin, right? What happens now? Pheomelanin in white skin people, before it, see, I told you the melanosome is transferred from melanocyte, this is melanocytes, to keratinocyte cells, and I told you the skin is the cells from the lower layer come up, no, it migrates. It's a dynamic thing. New cells are formed, the old cells are pushed out, right? Like that. So, in white skin, this pheomelanin is not very stable, right? Even before it comes to the upper layer of the skin, it gets degraded, right? But eumelanin is the color is strong, right? So it is, even if it comes to the upper layer of the cell, no, the color, black color is retained in eumelanin. In pheomelanin, the color is not retained. So even before it comes to the upper layers of the skin, what happens? It degrades. That is why this is mostly fair skinned people. This is dark skinned people. See, in other way, you can picturize this. I will show you the other picture. See here. Okay, could see this picture very well. So, here, this is melanocytes. Okay, and these are all the basal layers. See, eumelanin. It's get degraded, it's not seen at all. See, sorry, this is pheomelanin, okay? This is pheomelanin, okay? This is pheomelanin, this is eumelanin. See, when you see eumelanin for dark skinned people, it is very strong, it doesn't degrade at all. Even when it comes to the, this is the lower layer of the cell, this is what? Stratum corneum, okay? This is stratum corneum. We studied that stratum corneum. So even when it comes out, the color is still there. This is what? Each cell is melanosome, right? Contains the pigment melanin, right? So even when it comes to the upper layer, the color is still there. Here, the color is lost. See, here you can see dull color and it is lost. This is light skin people. Right? You understand? I think so. So, these are the pictures you can see again. So, eumelanin and pheomelanin ratio, you can go through this. Eumelanin is primarily responsible for the color of the skin, hair and eyes. In general, eumelanin is generally controlled, genetically controlled. Okay, genetically controlled. The exception to this genetic control is tanning reaction that occurs with exposure to UV light. Pheomelanin in fair-skinned individuals often adds an orange or red hue to the hair. These people are often have green eyes and a lot of freckles. Freckles means in skin you can see lot of blemishes. The formation of pheomelanin is regulated by the ratio between these two amino acids, glutathione and cysteine. Don't worry about this. This is for any students watching this video who want to get more details, right? The variation of skin pigmentation is strongly influenced by the amount and composition of melanin in the epidermis. Skin pigmentation is one of the most evident racial characteristics, right? This is what. So, what we have seen till now, pheomelanin and eumelanin. Eumelanin, the color is very strong for Africans, and pheomelanin is very weak in color. So, eumelanin and pheomelanin, how it, before it migrates out, how the color is strong here and how it fades here, right? So, this is it. Now, how to control the skin pigmentation, right? How to control this skin pigmentation? So, there are various ways to control the skin pigmentation before melanin synthesis, right? Melanosome structure and function and altering the melanosome structure and function. Okay, this is not this is one of the process which we can do, but it is generally most of the current active systems don't address this, but this can be done, right? The second is widely used in pharmaceutical field, and in over the counter drugs is tyrosinase inhibition. Okay, what is this tyrosinase inhibition? We saw what we saw in the synthesis of melanin. What we saw, tyrosinase is an enzyme that converts tyrosine to dopa and to dopaquine, right? So, if you suppress this enzyme, the melanin is not produced, and any spots which is very dark, right? You can use this to reduce the color of that spot, right? For reduce the darkness of that particular spot, right? So that is the enzyme tyrosinase inhibition is widely used. This is tyrosinase inhibition is widely used. The actives, example hydroquinone is the active, right? There are a lot of other actives. Kojic acid, okay. There are lot of OTC and prescription medicines which have hydroquinone in their thing. Kojic acid is used by a Japanese skin lightening product, but those products are used as quasi drugs in Japan, right? Quasi drugs. No, it's something like OTC. It's not a cosmetic, right? Hydroquinone and kojic acid. Reactive oxygen species scavengers. This is basically antioxidants can be used. No, reducing agents, lipids. Some of them, lot of research are happening in this. Of course, antioxidants will also help, but more stronger is tyrosinase inhibition, right? That is widely used in pharmaceuticals. After melanin synthesis, melanosome transfer inhibition. Melanosome transfer inhibition. What is that? We said no? Melanosomes are produced in melanocytes, and melanosomes are transferred from melanocytes to keratinocytes, right? We discussed. So, there are some actives that suppress this transfer. Okay. There are some actives that suppress this transfer. Okay. So that when this transfer is not happening, the skin doesn't become tanned and doesn't become dark, right? So, vitamin B3, okay? Vitamin B3, otherwise called as niacinamide or nicotinamide. Okay, it is the active which suppress the transfer of melanosomes from melanocyte to keratinocytes. When the transfer is suppressed, the melanosome is not getting dispersed, right? Melanosome is not getting dispersed. Most of the cosmetic products now use vitamin B3. You can see in the label vitamin B3 or as niacinamide or nicotinamide. Okay, you can see the label of the products. Most of the products in cosmetics use this ingredient to give the blemish free skin. Give blemish free skin, right? Skin. Vitamin B3, no? Vitamin B3 is also called as pellagra preventing factor. What is pellagra? Lack of vitamin B3 makes your skin very susceptible to sunlight, right? Very susceptible to sunlight and cause pigment darkening. So, when people take vitamin B3, the pellagra, this pellagra is cured, right? That pigment darkening, no, patches of pigment darkening is stopped. That is how the original study on how pellagra, how this vitamin B3 can lighten the skin is based on its function as a pellagra preventing factor. Most of this you can go through the literature and read much more about this vitamin B3 and niacinamide, right? Now, another important aspect which I would like to add now here is, what is the primary function of melanin? Why should the melanosomes getting dispersed when you expose to sunlight? Because melanosomes contains melanin and they protect the skin from sunlight, right? They are the factors that protect the skin from harmful UV rays. Yesterday in the section 6 we saw that harmful UV rays, right? That is why when the melanin is not very strong in the fair skin people, they are subjected to UV damage. But in Africans or brown skinned Asians and the damage is not so much because the melanin and the melanin they have more of U melanin, right? They have more of U melanin which is strong, right? More of U melanin, right? That is strong. When you are with more of U melanin, you will be subjected to UV damage. No, Indians, we have a right balance, right? So now, why the sunlight triggers the spread of melanosomes, which contains melanin? Because that is a natural factor that protects the skin from sunlight, right? Now, when you are using a product that suppresses the melanin dispersion or melanin synthesis itself, your skin is susceptible to UV damage. So when you use skin lightening product, it's better to avoid excessive exposure to sunlight, and you can see that all the products which is given to remove your dark blemishes on the skin also have sunscreens in the formula, right? Especially more of in our context, it's more of more of UVA sunscreens. Yesterday we studied UVA is for UVA tans skin, UVB burns skin, right? So to prevent further tanning, you need UVA sunscreen in the product in Indian context. In European context, they don't use all this skin lightening product, but they use vitamin B3 type of product to remove the blemishes, right? In a very fair skin people, the blemishes are seen very strongly. That is why the fairness creams or anti-blemish creams sell in China and the Far Eastern countries very high volumes, because in their skin blemishes are seen very conspicuously, right? It's seen very obvious. So that is why they use lot of these products that controls the blemish, right? So now all the anti-blemish products contain an active ingredient that controls the melanin synthesis or melanin dispersion, and it also has sunscreens in their formulation, right? To make these two pictures clear, now I have attached the picture again in the middle for you to have a later reference, because the other picture is very. So U melanin, it's black, dark skin. Pheomelanin is lighter skin, and these are all the melanocytes, okay? Melanocytes, okay? And produces melanosomes. These are all the melanosomes. Now, what is this? This is all. This is what? This cell is keratinocyte. Okay, these are all upper keratinocyte, basal keratinocytes. And what is this? That is melanosomes. And the dark pigment inside is melanin, right? Some of the melanin is dispersed also here. These are all melanin dispersion. From melanosomes it has come out. So these are all melanosomes, right? This is already faded, it's still there. This is what I want to be clear, and I'm attaching in the middle. What we can do before melanin synthesis, which is not much in practice, but during melanin synthesis tyrosinase inhibition is used widely in pharmaceuticals, and after melanin synthesis, controlling the dispersion of melanin, it's widely used in cosmetics. One of the ingredient is niacinamide or vitamin B3. It's called as vitamin B3 or nicotinamide. It's widely used. And all the skin lightening products or anti-blemish products are also formulated with sunscreens, right? That you should remember. Why? Because you are controlling the spread of dispersion of melanin, which is a natural protecting factor from sunlight. So when you do that, you need sunscreens, right? This is what. And when the skin is already dark because of excessive exposure to sunlight and it has already come out, there are some techniques, there are superficial dermabrasion techniques where we said the upper layers of the skin contains this melanosomes, keratin cells contains melanosomes. By dermabrasion from the upper layers of cell, remove the melanosomes, right? So, or with alpha hydroxy acids were the techniques which were used previously, lactic acid and glycolic acid, that peels the outer layer very fast and the cell turnover rate will be very fast, right? That corrects the problem. Now, when you do that, your skin becomes very, very susceptible to sunlight, okay? You have to address post-treatment pigmentation because your skin becomes very, very susceptible to sunlight, and when you go out, you have to use high SPF sunscreens, right? High SPF or which contains triple plus UVA sunscreens, right? Yesterday we discussed what is triple plus, right? So this is what I want to share with you today on skin lightening approach, because I want to make it simple so that you understand the concepts of this. So it's just a summary. Melanocytes produce melanosomes that contains melanin. Melanosomes are transferred from melanocytes to keratinocytes. The major trigger is sunlight. Okay, we saw the synthesis of melanin, and the common method to control melanin melanin is during synthesis, where we suppress the enzyme tyrosinase which initiates the synthesis of melanin. Famous actives are hydroquinone and kojic acid. Okay, after melanin synthesis, we control the dispersion of melanin from melanosome, dispersion of melanosome from melanocytes to keratinocytes, right? That the famous active used is vitamin B3, otherwise called as niacinamide or nicotinamide. But all these products, melanin is the natural pigment that protects our skin from sunlight. Yes? So, all the products are also formulated with sunscreens, right? That gives additional protection for us, for our skin from sunlight. So, this is a summary, and there is an approach where when the pigment is dispersed, what we will do is to remove the outer layer of the skin very fast, but that has its own issues. You have to be careful because your skin becomes more susceptible to pigmentation because it's highly susceptible to sunlight. So those aspects you have to take care. I trust I could make this presentation little simple so that all people can understand. I trust this everybody understood, right? So this is what I would like to add to you on skin lightening, or sorry, the pigmentation, right? Pigmentation, right? On pigmentation, right? Now, when we end, what? My life lesson, right? My life lesson. Today, my life lesson will be forgive yourself. It's a technique. This is very, very important because it hurts you so much. What is forgiving yourself? People will say, if I have done that, I would have been this. If I have not studied this, if I would have studied that, I will be this. If I have not done this, no, I will be much more happier. No, we keep on hurting ourselves, saying that I have done mistake, I am like this. I have done mistake, I am like this. Nothing. Okay. You should forgive yourself. That is very, very important. The last part 6 we said that you should forgive people who have hurt you and seek forgiveness from people whom you have hurt. This you have to this part 7 you have to forgive yourself. Forget the past. Forget yourself. Forgive the past. Forget the past and forgive the past, because that has no meaning. Think about the future. Forgive yourself. You are fine. Whatever mistake you have done, learnt a lot of lessons from that. From the lessons, come forward and move on. Don't be pondering over the past. Forgive yourself. Thank you. We will see soon in part 8. Thank you.